either one of these players are going to do that. So if you're at home, you're a big fan, you want to be pro, you want to become just as good as Use or Godly, keep an eye on that. Look to see that there's no overthinking and there's straight adaptations. But I got to say, Godly's been amazing with the Azuri so far in the entirety of this tournament, in fact, entirety of this year. But the Ada pick coming out right now is interesting. I like this. Blasters, the Spear, again, big setups, but again, all of that is just straight disrespected by Godly, who only now is starting to take damage.
Oh, dude, this Godly is, that was actually a huge combo, carrying Use from one side of the stage to the other using these Katars. And honestly, that's kind of what Katars are all about. You know, they got great combo potential, and certainly Godly is living up to that name, making sure everybody is well aware of that. But now bringing out the sword, trying to find a way to close this stock out, and they get the first one on the board here. And Godly, looking Godly, I know, see, you put that in my mind, and now I can't stop. I can't stop.
Do that. That was all part of my master plan.
Here we go. We got the blasters coming out. You kind of put this out a little bit. You kind of what are you expecting the blasters to kind of be able to establish in this game plan?
So this one platform on APOC is really good for when it comes to the blasters, right? It could be a blessing or it can be a curse. If Godly chooses to play around that platform, it could be really hard for Use to find those setups. Weapon throw does go down, and Use again looking to find those setups off of the spacing. Godly is just right in your face, and that can be hard because you can shoot directly in front of someone like Godly, but you won't be in that hitbox. So Use has to plan around and try to take over the entire tempo of this game to play into their favor. And again, we see these setups, Godly just maneuvering, bypassing everything, and Use is not really finding much of a response. Now we do see the recovery coming by, but Ada has so little defense in her arsenal that this could be incredibly hard for Use, even though it's an even stock line. This orange could already be a bad omen for this game.
Oh yeah, 100%. But as we can see, these players are starting to kind of battle each other again. Right now, that neutral coming out to play here. I like the weapon toss, tried to get something out of it, but Use answering back, getting a nice little reversal. Godly going for a huge signature there, but not going to be able to connect, and Use getting a soft punish on that. Nothing super crazy to, really, take a stock or whatever. Oh no, what a slap down.
Absolutely, better way of saying it, a slap down. Pretty soon we can say a kick down.
Soon, absolutely.
Yeah, soon.
I can't wait.
I can't
wait.
That being said, though, this is a big advantage for Use. The best advantage we've seen so far. Spear, no weapon. Now Godly picks up the Katars. Godly loves to play for the ledge guard, an offstage game for these Katars, and Use is staying directly in the middle, knowing full well, okay, I cannot let Godly get close in any capacity. And jumping around, looking for that prime entry point. Godly's denying everything. These nairs unbelievably strong. A stare from below, and Use used all their jumps. Godly a solid 2-stock lead going into the first game.
That was actually a very oppressive game one, like you just mentioned here. That was huge. Definitely something that's 100% needed to kind of really set the tone, establish your dominance quick and early, and that way when you do get into game two, you're going to see what Use is made of. What is Use guys made of? That's what I'm trying to find out right now. Right? Are they going to be able to answer back in game two? Is game one going to be, lingering in their mind, like, I'm going to get caught up again, I'm going to get comboed again? You look like you got something to say. What's going on?
I do. So I wasn't a big fan of the Ada pick. I'm not going to lie to you. Not a big fan of Ada, but I do like the Legend swap coming up. The Bryn now, instead of the Ada, you retain that Spear, but now you have that heavy hitting axe. That's exactly what Use needs going into game number two. That could be the band-aid to fix all these problems here, and immediately Use starts off raw aggression. Loses the Spear, unarmed though, Use still comfortable on that weapon set, but this axe, this is where all eyes need to be on.
And as we see right here, okay, these players dancing back and forth, trying to establish their pace there, but Godly, man, they are doing a fantastic job of staying just within the threat bubble for Use, right, but not getting hit too often on their own. They're waiting for these openings right here. Was not able to convert into another attack. They were trying to call out like a read in, just was not able to get it. There we go. We have Use answering back here. Nice little hit with the axe. Gonna allow Godly to get back to the wall though, but a nice little weapon toss. And look at that, staying in the air. Oh my goodness, the movement is top notch. Tried to get a huge stock out of there, but just not able to get the hit that they need. Wow, just kind of reversed it, okay.
See, I get Use's game plan now. That was the same exact style of reads that Use was looking for off of Ada's signatures, but never quite found. Now these more delayed reads off the slower signatures of Bryn's Spear, that's exactly the game plan. Now, Godly does have that sword. We didn't see a lot of that in game number one, mostly used as an execution factor. Now, first stock, now lost. It's almost a directly even game. It's like the first stock never happened, but that Spear's picked back up. Use again has full control of the stage, or at least did until going to the ledge. Godly again looking for that entry point, able to find so. Good combo potential. Use finding that recovery to get back onto the stage. Now the ledge in hand.
Oh, There we go. We saw that signature come out again. I just was not able to get both hits there. But Godly is definitely smelling blood in the water.
Oh, yeah.
And they are looking for any small opening. I really like this. He's actually been going for that a lot, where he'll actually just dance back and forth, waiting for Yuz to do something. And if Yuz doesn't bite, he goes for the quickest weapon toss I've ever seen, catches the weapon, and tries to get a combo. Like right there, he's just, hey, do something, please. If you don't, I'm going to find my way in anyway.
And this is just Godly's game plan. Be so oppressive, in your face. Again, the axe, the hitbox extends a little too far out, and if Godly's right inside, it's so hard to find that impact. But Yuz again goes back to the spear, jumping around, looking for just chip damage, looking to find anything to put Godly in an uncomfortable spot. Off stage though, Yuz looking to maybe find something to bring this to 1-1, but again, it's been easier said than done. These jumps nearly run out. Yuz good for the setup into the Sair. Off stage,
Ooh.
the second Sair misses. Godly reads it perfectly. A spot dodge back onto the stage.
And that's definitely tough because I felt like that was a moment you really need to capitalize on to even this game up here. Instead, you allow Godly to get back to stage and get a little bit of extra credit here. Okay, I like the sig. Sometimes you just got to throw it out and it'll land. But you are starting to get into that orange, and this could be bad news because Godly, again, the movement has been top notch. Look, he's going to get this weapon. Of course, it ends up being the sword.
Yeah,
and now it's just can Yuz really stop this momentum.
Yuz playing a little bit more floating right now. Has been a big benefit, but off stage, Yuz has looked really uncomfortable. Godly has been so prepared for every sort of ledge guard opportunity, but it's the first one where Godly hasn't succeeded. Now Yuz finding that prime advantage, not once, not twice, 4 different times to send Godly off the stage, but he still makes it back on.
Oh, this Yuz was, they just weren't in the right spot. I don't know if they got, they got a little scared, but you gave up game 2 in the process. It was in your grasp. You could have shut it down. You just weren't able to find the hit. Oh, you got to feel for Yuz there.
Even I'm getting a little nervous for Yuz right now. I mean, Godly again. One of those players where you go back and watch that footage, it's like, how do you defeat this? Now remember, I said this yesterday for the pre-show. A lot of players have been talking on the street, right, outside the venue, and they talk about Godly a lot. And it's one of those things where the neutral game for Godly, in the words of one of the players, I won't say who it is, but they said Godly's neutral game's literally magic. Unstoppable, unbeatable, and you know what? Seeing him for our own 2 eyes right now, it's true.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something different here. And I mean, and not even just that, but the punish game's on point too. Anytime Yuz does take a bite or try to take a bite, Godly's got something in the back pocket saying, hey man, you got a little too greedy. You reach, I teach. That's what it all comes down to. But now Yuz on the offensive, almost taking a nice lead here. Does have a lead in damage, but I mean, it's all about socks at the end of the day.
Yeah, and this is a great stage change now. I'm not sure who banned out the stage or even chose her into the stage, but Yuz again, having the offstage potential, already looking a lot more comfortable into the first game. Good way of rotating around. Big benefit for Haven. It's such a small stage that anyone could go around. That being said, the blast zones are something to consider. Godly, a little bit more defense than Yuz, I believe, but that being said, that doesn't mean it's going to be much easier for the knockback. Up in the air, weapon throws are bound, and there's the zap into the Sair. Yuz, for the first time in the game, starting off with an advantage.
But there's one thing I've noticed from Godly, at least for the past few games, is like when Yuz is off stage, Godly will just go out there, right? And he won't attack, but he will basically be within like 2 feet of you and just kind of shadow you all the way back to the stage.
Strong conditioning.
Yes, and he has not bit on anything yet. And I know it's coming down to once he has that last stock he needs to close out the set, he's going to go for a huge play here. But speaking of huge plays, Yuz on the offensive here, but he's not able to get another stock, which would have been a big play for them.
Now, historically speaking, Yuz has played a lot of Ogrim. We're seeing that axe really coming to fruition. I'm wondering, though, could this be a victory for Yuz? Are we going to see that Ogrim for maybe game number 4? We'll have to wait and see, though. Yuz still has that first stock to work with. Sair comes out. No Caster's Curse today. Oh, barely by frames. Able to make it back. Godly missing the setup. Oh, but the recovery again missing by a spot dodge of Godly. The Sair comes by and Godly shows full control of the stage.
That's actually a huge play there too, because I mean, Yuz has been playing this match so far.
Oh yeah.
Really, really good as we see another stock disappear here and picking up the weapon in the process. 2 stocks to 1, right? I mean, you're looking good. You should be able to close this out. We've seen a couple flubs from Yuz so far, but I mean, surely he's going to be able to close this one out, right? There's no way he's going to drop this game, but we have to remember who's on the other side. Who's on the other side, gang? It's Godly, and right now he's doing a great job building up this damage, almost taking that stock.
You're evil. Setting up the Caster's Curse against Yuz. Yuz has the strongest lead we've seen against anybody against Godly so far, probably this entire tournament.
That was
barely. The know, again by frames, these spot dodges, Godly, maybe the best in the game to use it. Maneuvers out of the way and now use, again, that set up the weapon throw to cover all their bases. Still, Godly manages to get away.
And that was one of those moments. He finally bit on trying to actually edge guard him, right? And just barely whiffed on. Would have been a huge stock. Would have been a huge way to even things up. Not able to take the stock there. Oh, but the weapon toss. Is he going to be able to make it back? And he ensures that there's no way for return. Safe return is absolutely out of the books. And we are in a last stock scenario here. They're in the orange, but this is looking very dangerous for Yuz all of a sudden. You know the nerves are setting in.
If Yuz loses the stock, they go down to the elimination bracket. It's going to be Godly again, sent up in the air twice in a row by a recovery 3 times.
He just refuses to die. He won't go down, Keg.
One more. Yuz is so close. Can taste not even victory, but a chance to stay in the winner's bracket.
Oh, I don't think he wanted to pick up that sword. It's definitely the play that we've seen from Godly a few times now.
Sarah?
Just tossing the weapon. Oh, almost get a weapon toss. That's going to be it. Oh, my goodness. He finds a way to secure the 3-0. You can see that Yuz is in good spirits, but Godly, again, no other way to say it. Just playing Godly.
You know, we have a Telestrator segment for the main stage, right? I feel like we have to telestrate the entire matches for Godly. One of those things that players, analysts, casters, everybody needs to study. Because again, the #1 thing that stuck out to me in this set was Godly's dodging. Not even just the spot dodging, which I would say, going back, has been frame perfect almost every single time. It's just maneuvering around the stage, the entire environment, the physics of Brawlhalla. Godly has mastered more than anything else. Yuz was unbelievably close to bringing that to a game 4. But again, that dodge, the maneuvers, the setups off stage because of it. Yuz wasn't able to get back onto that ledge.
Oh, man. What an incredible game. I mean, we've had 2 3-0s so far, but the action is top notch, man. You could definitely tell where we're at. Like anybody at home, if you are just tuning in right now, I feel like you can just tell what part of the bracket we're in because of the energy, because of the big plays, because of the names on the screen. You know that we're in these top 8 qualifiers. That is going to be, I believe, our last winner side top 8 qualifier, which means we will be getting into the elimination.